What's up, good people? So we talking about credit cards today and how you can use credit cards to actually purchase a property. So early on in my flipping career, one of the ways that I closed on a deal is I actually used my credit card. And I'm gonna tell you how in just a second. Before we get started, if you like the content that you're receiving, if it helps you in any way, make sure you click that like button, make sure you click that subscribe button, and let's keep this channel going so we can get this content to more people, help more people out there. And by the way, my name is Brandon Goodman. You can find me online at Brandon G Online. All right, so let's jump into it. So one of the ways that I used my credit card early on, I used my Navy Federal credit card, and when it was time to do my closing on a property, this is before I was really using hard money like that. Now I use 100% hard money, but before I did a couple finance deals, right? I did some conventional loans, and what I did was I took a cash advance against my credit card to help me pay for my closing costs, because I had to pay my own closing, and I had to pay I paid my own closing and down payment. So you say that's like 8% of the deal, right? So if you take that off $120,000 house, you know, you do the math, but that's over $8,000 that I had to bring to the table at closing. And so right before closing, what I did was I did a cash advance against my credit card and was able to get the rest of the money needed to close on that property. And then of course, as I made the repairs on the property, and what I did is I had a little cash nest egg. I used that for the labor, and I used my credit card to pay for the material. And then once I closed on that home, I think I ended up selling that house for like $189,000. I bought it for like 120. It was either 120,000 or 112,000. I'll get the paperwork and I'll pull it up and show you guys in another video. Once I closed on the property, and I didn't make a huge amount of money on that deal because of the amount of work that needed to be done. But that was one of my first individual deals that I worked by myself, and so I made a few dollars on that property. So after I paid for everything, I probably netted, I don't know, maybe $10,000-$12,000 off that deal, which still for me at the time I was extremely excited, and I was happy that I was able to make that kind of profit on a deal. So yeah, that's how I use credit cards in order to, you know, finance my deals. And I still use credit cards to this day. I just use them in a different way. I don't really use the cash advance feature, even though it's not a bad feature. I just don't really need it at this point in time. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for about 7-8 years now, and I have the money set aside for each one of my deals. And like I said, I use 100% finance loans anyway for hard money, and so I really don't have to bring anything to the closing table. If I do, it's usually more so like my lender's insurance, right? So when you're doing flips, you have a 6 or 12 month policy that you can get to kind of protect your assets that are in the property in case something is to happen. And you want to have that insurance. And most hard money lenders are going to require that you have it. And it's pretty expensive, you know what I mean? But it's well worth it. You know, like a 6 month policy might be $900 to $1,200. You're normally better off doing a year policy because it's less expensive for you. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's one of the ways I was able to early on use my credit card to help close on a deal. I did a cash advance a couple days before closing, and I say a couple days before closing because you don't want to give it too much time. Like, you don't want to do it 30 days out, right? Because then that's going to hit your credit and that could affect your loan. So that's why I say I pulled out that cash advance just a couple days before closing. So, you know, let's just say I was set to close on the 30th. I try to close at the end of the month when I can. Actually, I used to try to do that. I really don't care when I close now, but at the time I was doing it because it lessens the amount of prorated interest that you have, so it's less that you have to bring to the closing table. That's a side tip. I'll talk more about that in a different video. But originally I would try to close at the end of the month. At this point, I really don't care when I close. I'm trying to close as soon as possible. But yeah, so if you're closing on the 30th, maybe on like the 24th, 25th, go do that cash advance. It usually only takes 24 hours. Some of them are instant, but at the most it'll take 24 hours for you to get the money, and now you have the money to close on your deal. Make sure you're responsible with the money though, you know what I mean, because you are paying definitely much higher interest rates. I think mine at the time was like 21% or something like that, and most credit cards are going to be something, you know, really crazy as far as the interest rate. And so yeah, I used that money, closed my deal. I used the rest of the money on the credit card to finance my material, and then I was able to go ahead and take the cash that I had and use that for my labor costs. Once I closed on the deal, I paid all that back off. I rinsed and repeated the process, except for the next time I didn't have to use that cash advance feature. But it's a great way when you're getting started, when you're first getting in the game, and you don't have a whole lot of capital to kind of make your money spread out, right? Work in your benefit. For more tips, more information, make sure you check me out on Instagram, Brandon G Online, and also make sure you go ahead and go to the website, BrandonGOnline.com. I have an online course that teaches you how to flip property, how to go through the renovation project, what's a good property, what's a bad property, how to find contractors, and a host of more information, right? Make sure you go to the website, check it out. Man, I'm signing off for the day. Y'all have a blessed one. Happy holidays. Be safe out there. Peace.